Welcome back, everyone. I'm inside my Toyota Sequoia. Actually, 324,000 miles. And you wonder, like, wow, how'd you get there? Well, having to get in the shop. I had two problems that happened. One, a shock broke the other day. It was actually Sunday. We drove it Saturday, and then Sunday morning I heard it rattling as I was leaving my driveway. I'm like, what the hell? When I got to the gas station, I crawled underneath, noticed the shock broke that I replaced a year ago. And I said, all right, well, Monday I'll order it, and it came today. And then the blower motor was acting up for the last week or so, maybe a little bit longer. And if you kick the dash, it would come on. And I didn't want to procrastinate. We actually ordered it a few weeks ago, just didn't get to it. By us kicking the dashboard to make the blower motor come on, it's loading circuits in the dash that you really don't want to cause a snowball effect, right? So I had two problems with the Sequoia at 324,000 miles that needed to be addressed. There is nothing else on this car that needs to be addressed mechanically on this car, because I do it as the problems arise. This way, when I bring it in, I don't have 20 systems that have failures, if that makes any sense to you. So listen to your mechanic when it comes in and says, hey, there's no needs for repairs on your car, but your vehicle is due for maintenance, filters, fluids, fuel injections. Don't put them off, because they don't go away. Your trans fluid will only decay more. Your intake valves will only carbon up more. Your tune-up will only get worse. Your fuel injectors will only get dirtier. Things like that. So if there's no mechanical repairs, catch up on your maintenance if it's in your budget, or break it down and to say, hey, I'm going to do the filters this oil change, and then the next oil change I'll try and catch up on some more maintenance. But as you're in that cycle of mileage, mechanical problems could pop up as well for wear and, unforeseen breakdowns, that those other issues that were advised before that you didn't do are going to be needed. So eliminate yourself from piling up the repair problems, and we see it all the time. People come in, they have a 30,000 mile car, it's due for 4 tires, the brakes are showing issues, the maintenance is due, and they're like, well, the budget only allows for this, or they don't believe in repairs and maintenance. They believe in drive it till it fails and breaks and costs more. So with the blower motor on this, if I would have continued screwing around with it, it could have cost me a blower resistor, could have cost me a climate control module, things that I really don't want to have to do on a car that the systems are good. So by me prolonging it further, one, it's torture in this vehicle with no air conditioner in summertime, but it could cause more problems in the electrical system that I don't want. So one repair, which is the blower motor, could save me from resistor, harness, and climate control module. The rear suspension, driving with the shock broke, it could punch holes in the body, it could rip a harness, it could cause many other issues. And you know how many people drive in and out of here with parts falling off their car every day? Every day. Recently, our decline list for repairs and maintenance has grown, and it's kind of coincides with the gas prices, if that makes any sense. At least for me in my location and the demographics of people that I deal with. So yeah, don't put off. Even if your car doesn't need any mechanical repairs, your next question is, what maintenance should I be doing? And then if it's too much, break it down and say, okay, I can do this now, and then next service I'll do is have a plan to keeping up with your car. A car that's well maintained and good condition has a higher resale value than a pile of crap car that the body's beat to shit, the interior's beat to shit, engine lights on, the tire lights on. There's no value in it. You basically devalue your next largest investment that you have. And then you go to trade it in, and you maybe could have got a few $1,000s for it, but as soon as they look at the interior, the exterior, all the warning lights are lit up, they're going to offer you junk value. For me, I would rather get a couple thousand when I'm done with the car than get scrap value, which is peanuts. That's it for this. I'm happy that it's done and out of the way, and I don't have to worry about it. Thanks for watching. Peace of mind.